Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from Elk Grove Village Hall, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And little known fact, though I didn't see your visage on the wall of recognition here outside where we're broadcasting at the Village Hall. Amy Jacobson got her start in media here.
Yeah, Channel 6, your cable station. So Peggy Kaczynski started there as well, and so did I, and I was able to build up a resume, and that's what got me my first job at KGAN in Cedar Rapids.
Wow.
So thank you for that.
I thought I knew everything about Elk Grove. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
The village that launched at least two Chicago broadcasters, Amy and Peggy Kaczynski, was great.
Oh, I love Peggy.
We're pleased to be joined by the mayor of this community, I think since it was incorporated. He is Craig Johnson. Craig, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being in Elk Grove. Welcome to our community. Sorry about the view you got here out the window.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Next time I ask the mayor, I'll get you a little better location.
Okay.
We heard the birds fly into this window in the room we're in, and I was hoping maybe we could set up a duck blind. I could bring a shotgun, and we could do a little bit of extracurricular. But
you'd have plenty here to choose from.
I mean, Elk Grove Village is known for a lot of things, but because of its proximity to the airport, because of the industrial park, it's one of the largest in the world.
The largest in North America.
Largest in North America. It's known as a manufacturing hub of Chicago. What is the state of play in the industrial park, and particularly with this huge new development going up on Higgins Road?
Well, we're proud to say that Elk Grove right now, our industrial park, is the most occupied it's ever been in its history.
That's great.
We have over 97% of our space is leased and used. Never happened before. We pinch ourselves because the best we ever had before was 96%. And so we've now surpassed that, and it just keeps going. And with that new development going on, the high-tech park going on Higgins Road, it just helps expand our space, give us more places for people to come to and choose. And I always joke with people, most of my fellow mayors, they battle with people doing tear-downs and rebuilds in the residential area. We have that in our industrial park, which is a great problem to have.
Well, that tech park, so we drive past it all the time, and there's these beautiful bronze elk. How many elk are going up, and how many businesses, how many people do you hope to employ in that huge space?
Well, that's a question around town. How many elk out there, Mayor? How many? So I always ask him, well, what do you think? What do you think? The developer actually bought 30 elk. He kept one for his office, and he put 29 out there. So the answer to the big question, Elk Grove, there's 29 elk. He's invested over $500,000 just in those elk, and they're beautiful. And that's just the beginning of what's going to happen there. The beautification, the fountains, all that. And the reason people say, well, why do that in an industrial park, Mayor? Is because this is new cutting-edge technology manufacturing. These are companies that use robotics. These are companies that use high-tech manufacturing plants. So it's a new way of doing it. It's today's technology for tomorrow's needs, and we're going to make sure we meet the cutting edge. If we keep sitting back on what we did back in the 50s and 60s when Elk Grove was developed, we'd fall behind. Some of our neighboring towns have done that, and those towns are hurting. I won't mention names. They're hurting big time.
Oh, we know them.
We've stayed on the cutting edge. We've been working hard to make sure, for example, trucks are bigger than they were before. So we put in big turn bays in the streets so cars and trucks wouldn't be going up on the grass, on the medians, to turn into the buildings. We thought ahead and did that stuff. Reinvestment in longer turn lanes, more turn lanes, to keep up with today's technology and needs of tomorrow. We've got infrastructure already in place. Matter of fact, ComEd's building a brand new substation here in Elk Grove. A lot of towns have to beg and pay for them. ComEd's doing it free of cost to Elk Grove Village.
When does the high-tech park come online?
The first building's almost complete on Oakton. It goes from Oakton to Higgins. For almost complete, and they're working right away. They're going to build 9 buildings. 5 they have already started building. They were going to wait on the other 4. They came in 2 weeks ago for permits on the other 4. So the demand is out there. Matter of fact, we announced very shortly our first high-tech customer coming in. It's a foreign company from Germany, and soon we'll be announcing that. So, I mean, it is starting to take off. It is considered the place to be if you're in high-tech manufacturing.
But what do you attribute this to? Because, you know the local, regional, state politics as well as anybody. You know how bad this state, what bad financial shape this state is in, how difficult it is to operate a business here, much less get people to consider locating a business here. So Elk Grove Village is like this it's like one big green shoot in Cook County and DuPage County and in the state. So what's going on here that allows Elk Grove to be so successful where even other O'Hare ring suburbs are not?
Dan, you hit the nail on the head. It is tough to do business in Illinois. Illinois is probably the toughest state to do business. I'm battling every day with business in Elk Grove and business looking to come to Elk Grove saying, why don't I go to Indiana? Why don't I go to Wisconsin? For example, Stern Pinball, the largest manufacturer of pinball machines in the world. He was telling me, Gary Stearns told me that Governor Walker actually called him when he was still governor of Wisconsin to try to talk him coming up to Wisconsin instead of going to Elk Grove. But he chose Elk Grove. And Gary, tell you to this day, best choice he ever made. Why? Because we have everything a business wants. We have location, location, location. Busiest airport in the world, right next door to us. All the major expressways. We have rail lines. We're the biggest rail line community in the country. We have more rail lines going to Elk Grove to serve the businesses than anywhere else. So we can get planes, trains, and automobiles to serve them. That's what helps us immensely. But you're right, Dan. We battle every day to keep people here. Now, what helps is we've got the lowest property tax rate in all Northwest Cook County here in Elk Grove.
The industrial park probably helps with that a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Almost all of it.
Yeah.
Almost all of it. No question. So that helps attract them. But how are we going to keep them? You have to give them what they need. Infrastructure. And more importantly nowadays, an educated working group of people to help manufacturing. It's high-tech manufacturing nowadays. So these young men have to know computers. They have to know how to use new data literature and programs to do the manufacturing. That's why several years ago in Elk Grove High School, we helped start a manufacturing class, and we partnered with Harper Junior College so that we can now help educate the people. During the recession, I had business owners come to all the time. Mayor, I've got jobs, but no one to take them. Help me find educated employees or I'm leaving your village. And so we started that. We were very proactive, got it going. Now Royal Meadows High School has it. Wheeling High School has it. It's expanding. And that's why we're staying ahead of the curve is because we think ahead and outside the box.
And you have such nice amenities. I use your pavilion. I mean, a lot of parents, I know with your fictitious children, eventually you'll come out to Elk Grove Village for parties because you have a carousel inside your park district. I mean, your park district is spectacular to anything that the city has to offer. It's just amazing. So kudos to you for that.
Less gunplay out here, too.
Yeah.
Well, we had an issue with a postman back New Year's Eve. Won't go through, but 2 doors away from my house. But we have to stay on the cutting edge. We know that. As you said, Dan, you're 100% right. We're battling not just other towns. We're battling the state. We're actually battling the country because a lot of things going on. But what we want to do is different. We're proud of that new company coming to our tech parks from Germany. I don't want to steal businesses from Schaumburg or Arlington Heights, our neighboring towns. That doesn't do any good. Arlington takes from Elk Grove takes from Schaumburg takes from Office Estates. That does no good. We have to attract businesses not outside just Illinois, but outside the country. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to attract businesses that aren't from this area, so we're not just stealing from our neighbors, and trying to make the area stronger. And that's the key.
So, all right. So we gotta talk about the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah, it gained international attention.
Well, right.
It was a brilliant move.
And when this was announced, I'll be honest with you, I made fun of you.
Well, it was a talk topic for a half hour on people.
Yeah,
were calling
because
in.
it's just like Elk Grove Village. It's like the College National Football Championship game brought to you by Elk Grove Village, Illinois.
Makers Wanted.
It sounded a little bit weird. I understand Makers Wanted, but so that's get into the whole thought process behind sponsoring a collegiate bowl game and what Elk Grove was trying to do and how it worked out for your first foray last year and sponsoring that bowl game.
Well, first off, Dan, I thank you. You spent a half hour, which is exactly what you want to do. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, our name's out there. There's an old saying in politics. I don't care what you say about me in the paper. Just make sure you spell my name right. Same thing on this. We just want a name out there in front. So what happened, to give you a quick synopsis here, we were broadcasting, doing commercials on Chicago Cub games. And we were smart. We started before they won the World Series. So we got in good, got in a good price, and we're doing that for several years. But it's a Midwest impact. Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin, Eastern Iowa, Western Indiana. So some changes came with Comcast, Cubs, and all this, so we kind of stepped back. So we were trying to think of something to do to get our name out there because we want a brand ID. We want people, when they're looking a manufacturer in California or in Germany, thinking I got to locate somewhere, that when someone says, well, I'm looking at a place called Elk Grove, that they know that name. For some reason, it's sharp in their head, and they say, yeah, let's look at it. So I was actually up north and there was no snow, no snowmobiling, no ice fishing. Bored watching bowl game after bowl game. And I turned to my wife and I said to her, look at the TV. And she goes, oh, yeah, another football game. I said, no. Picture Makers won at bowl. She used a strong expletive when she thought I said that. And I said, no, thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Came back here, talked to my staff in January. They said the same thing politely to the mayor, though. And I said, okay. So we got our marketing people that helped us with the Cubs games. And I brought them in. And I said, if they say the same thing, okay, it's no good. The head of the team took me out in the hallway here in the Village Hall and said, Mayor, you've got gold here. Give us a chance to develop this. This is gold. So from January to last July when we made the announcement, we worked. And the funny part was, as we started off kind of looking for bowl games, at the end, the bowl games were looking for us. Because they knew right away that this was gold because it had never been done before.
But what's the financing of it? Because you got to get taxpayers on board for something like this.
$300,000, wasn't it?
The bowl game itself is $300,000. Then we put in an additional $100,000 to $150,000 for special marketing. We actually have a marketing firm, Forefront, that has the name of all the manufacturing owners in the country. Then they break it down to who likes college sports. Then they break down to who likes college football. And they were able to target those people. You know, when you're on your computer, things pop up. Popping on their computers, Makers won at Bahamas Bowl. Makers won at Bahamas Bowl. And we've got calls. We got calls from businesses in Texas, Florida, California, New York. Matter of fact, the Daily Herald did an article. There's a gentleman that played in the Super Bowl against the Bears for Indianapolis Colts. He has 9 restaurants down in Indianapolis area, sports restaurants, looking to expand. He watched our game, and he said, any town that's innovative enough to think outside the box and do a bowl game, I want to look at for my business.
What and Makers wanted that branding.
That's what we call our business park. That's our brand name. Makers Want It. Manufacturers make things. So we have Makers Want It. Just like we put on our Makers Want It Manufacturing Expo every year in October. We have 1,000 attendees, 100 manufacturing companies here from Elk Grove. And the reason we do that is we want manufacturers to work with each other. So we have companies coming from all over the Midwest to talk to them. Hey, what are you making? Hey, I can use that product in my product. Let's work together. And that's the whole idea. We're the second largest manufacturing base in Illinois outside Chicago. Think about it, 3 million population, and we're nipping at their heels with 33,000 people. We are the economic engine in the northwest suburbs. We are the reason why this area is still doing well. And our hope is our neighboring towns who we've been working with will follow our lead, partner with us to make now the region stronger, Dan, not just Elk Grove Village. We can't survive on our own.
So Arlington Heights is going to host the NCAA tournament. That's
No, are you going to sponsor it again next year in the Bahamas Bowl?
Yeah, we signed up again, and that was a discussion we had. But real quickly, they do a metric where they see what kind of investment you make and what your return on investment is. Every sponsor goes through this. So the bowl games put on by ESPN, they own 17 of the games, actually keep track of all the metrics for every bowl game, and they give them to all the sponsors. Your goal is to get a 4-to-1 return on your investment.
Right.
So $300,000 would be $1.2 million. That's considered a great return. We got a 40-to-1. We got $12 million return on our investment. And they say that's almost a record. They say we don't see that. And that's why when I was thinking, do we do again this year, I talked to my good friend John McDonough, who's the expert in sports marketing.
Oh, yeah.
He said, Craig, are you really asking me that question? He goes, I thought you're smarter than that. He says, there's no question.
But not just in terms of impressions and awareness, I mean, in terms of also leads for business location.
No question. And I know people get frustrated. Well, Mayor, did they open a business yet? Was no one's going to locate a 250,000 square foot building in 2 weeks here in Elk Grove. But are we talking to them? Yes. We're talking to one of the largest manufacturers of car wash parts out of Texas. We've talked to them several times, and who knows when we'll be coming soon.
You should see if you can upgrade for year 2. Like, you should be able to present, like, the giant novelty check to whoever wins the Tostitos football throw thing at halftime or kick a field goal from 40 yards at halftime or something like that.
Well, the ironic thing is, that is in the contract. We
See?
could have done it last year.
I know.
You're thinking ahead, Dan.
See?
We could have
I'm
done
a
it
marketing
last
guy.
year. Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. So it's tough. We're looking at, we have more time this year. Last year, we were kind of cutting it close with the announcement and when it happened. We'll be rolling out some unique ideas, but we'll make sure we keep that in mind. That's a good idea.
Good stuff. He is Mayor Craig Johnson, mayor of Elk Grove Village, and the sponsor of the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl again in year 2. Maybe Northwestern will get a berth. Craig Johnson, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. And again, welcome to Elk Grove. Our home is your home. Anytime you want to come back. Well, you're in Elk Grove every day anyways.
That's right.
What am I saying? So glad you came to see the Village Hall.